Sonic.
Lab.
TV.
Let's take a look inside the box. I was quite surprised to find this rather nice padded carry bag with lots of zips and pockets. So here's the unit itself, which is red at 25 key ultra slimline keyboard. You can see how thin the unit is. Even with the audio interface, it's quite small. The other accessories include, there's a headset which has a built-in mic, which is really handy for sort of Skype calls, or if you're doing podcasts or you just want to sing a few ideas in. Quite cheap, but doesn't sound too bad. Got a USB cable, a strap to put on the bag for shoulder carrying, and this other strap which allows you to strap the keyboard on and wig out like a fool. You also get a couple of CDs. This is the U-Control Ultimate Software Package Volume 1, which contains over 100 virtual instruments plus more than 50 effect plugins, including VST Host, audio and podcast software for direct startup, Mac and PC. I think the Windows user seems to get a better deal with by far the larger amount of plugins and free stuff, but most of these things you're going to be able to find on the web anyway. My absolute favourite's got to be the Delay Llama from Audio Nerds, which is an old VST plugin which you can access using the VST Shell X, which is a Max MSP VST player, also included in the CD. You also get a Live Light 4 Behringer edition, which works on PC and Mac. Let's look at the unit itself and talk some numbers. It's a 25 key MIDI keyboard with 8 knobs, not rotary encoders, 8 switches, 1 fader, modern pitch bend, plus 2 inputs, one for expression and one for sustain around the back. The unit's programmed via the front panel and has a 3-character LED display to show you parameter access. The USB audio interface is 16-bit up to 48 kHz. It can also do 32 and 44.1 as you'd expect. It's a 2-channel system, even though there is a mic input on the back. The mic input on the back is on mini jack and has a separate level. However, you might be fooled into thinking this was actually a 3rd input channel. It's not, it just feeds the stereo input channel. You also get phones on mini jack and a direct monitoring section, which is switchable. The direct monitor allowing you to mix between input and USB audio returns. The unit can be powered either by USB, by a main supply, which is not included, or by 3 AA batteries. So let's get a couple of things straight. The UMA25S is not going to give you audiophile pristine sound card action. What it will do is give you portable, handy, easy to set up USB audio interface for your DAW or audio application. The UMA25S is not a comprehensive all singing all dancing MIDI interface, but it's a perfectly serviceable MIDI controller. It's also got MIDI out so you can drive external equipment. The keyboard, while not as plush as a full travel keyboard, is perfectly okay. It's got MIDI learn, so you can set up the controllers just by hitting MIDI learn. The other thing is it's got remappable keyboard, so you can change the order and sequence of the notes. So if you play a C, it could play a D, play an F, it could play a G. However, one thing is a bit inexcusable. A MIDI programmable device that doesn't have a computer-based editor, that's unthinkable. This is USB, this is the 21st century. It's kind of prehistoric and it's very frustrating. I'm not really into programming complex MIDI messages via an arcane operating system. I'm sorry, I think Behringer missed a trick there and I would like to see an editor for this. While I'm being critical, I suppose there's a couple of other things I ought to mention. I really don't know why there isn't a dedicated volume control to the audio interface on the front panel. That would be really useful. And to be honest, if you're running this with active speakers, you need to be able to grab hold of something and turn it down quick. I also noticed that the audio interface was rather susceptible to clipping. Now, this is normally a problem, but if you do run your DAW outputs quite hot, you're going to hear it on this interface. Other interfaces that you may be used to are more forgiving and perhaps have more headroom. You might have got the impression that I'm a bit down on the Behringer UMA25S, but I'm not. There isn't really anything else out there in this form factor. Remember, it is ultra slim and portable. The only thing was the Edirol PCR1 audio, and that's discontinued. The list price of the Behringer UMA25S is $189. I've seen it for as low as $149, and I've seen it for as low as £69.99 or about 95 euros. The closest thing you're going to find like this with a built-in audio interface is the Line 6 KB37, which is a tone port device. That comes in at $199 and that's already heavily discounted. It does have the advantage of having perhaps a slightly more robust audio interface with additional tone port plugins, but it's nowhere near as portable. So if you want something ultra portable, the Behringer UMA25S is the only thing that will combine MIDI and audio together at this kind of price.